Hello everybody, please excuse the beeping in the back, but this will be my quickest tutorial yet. I made this animation sequence here, and it's all guidelines. It'll look much better in the end, but you can see the action. And what I'm going to do is show you how I did the trembling part, or the struggling part. It's a little different than what I would call real trembling. Because trembling can be faster than this slow, struggling type shaking. So right here, and the part where they're getting up, I numbered the frames. All I did was I put a straight line in the motion. Right here you see the timeline there, in between this keyframe and that keyframe. And what I did was, it's just a straight shot. I drew the frames just like it would be a smooth motion, and the time it would take to get from one keyframe to the other. But what I did is, as I went along, I'm going to go in order through the frames here, is I went frame number 1, 3, and then back to 2. I skipped 2, go to 3. And then go backwards 1 to 2. Then I skip 3 and go to 4. And, you know, so on like that. So, see, there's 2. But, let's see. Whoops, wrong one. It was, excuse me, it was this keyframe to this keyframe. So what it was, so this would be frame number 1. And then I skipped to 3 here. Then I went back to 2, skipped to 5, back to 4, and skipped to the last keyframe before continuing on. Oh wait, sorry, I went back to 4 one more time, then continued on. And that's basically how I made that. It's just a back and forth after you draw out just a straight line of animation. Don't think of trying to draw them doing that action. Just think of drawing them in a straight line or in a still position in 2 ways. Now this is 8 frames per second, so every frame I'm going to change it. It'll be different speeds depending on what frame rate you're using, so just keep that in mind. I'll have different timing tutorials for this because I never find tutorials on how to draw someone trembling, crying, or that sort of thing when it comes to animation. It either just seems to come to somebody, so I just want to share my techniques for that because I've been alone in the dark trying to learn these animation techniques. I don't go to any school or anything, so that is what I have found useful for 8 frames per second. And I like to animate in 8 frames per second, and then I like to, if I want it to be more frames per second later, I like to convert that, and my next tutorial will be about that, actually, about converting 8 frames per second into 24 frames per second for those who want to do that kind of quality animation. It's so easy to match your timing to 8 frames per second, at least I find it is. And to do the in-between frames, it's so easy to switch it over, and I'll show you the technique in my next video. Anyway, I hope this helped. Here's the whole animation again. And that's what that timing will look like in 8 frames per second. I'll put up more videos on different types of trembling, still poses versus this moving example, and also different frame rates, how they can make the motion quicker, or how you can make twitches instead of just trembling and make it look good instead of all too jagged. It's like you want it to be jerky and shaky because that's what the movement is, but there's this flatness to it when you just start out and you don't know the right timing yet. So hopefully I can help you along with that. Alright, that's the end of the tutorial. Give me some feedback if you like it. You know, like, subscribe. See you next time.